Hello everybody, this is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. Today we're going to work on a funeral basket. Now we are making this basket in a wicker, or actually it's made out of grapevine. I'm going to show it to you. It is, so we have this guy come by our shop, and they hand make all of these grapevine things. So they do wreaths and baskets and crosses. So this is actually 2 oval wreaths that have been stacked, and then they added a handle to make it a basket. What I've done is I've put some foil in the bottom as a liner, and I've added 2 blocks of fresh floral foam. I'm going to take my tape. This is just waterproof tape. I'm going to come around the handle here and then come around the handle on the opposite side, and we're just crisscrossing our tape over that foam. Now this is just to help stabilize. The foam is not going to topple out because it's really very deep down into the basket. I'm not concerned with it falling out. I just like the security of a little extra tape. So I've added tape to the basket. Next, what we're going to do is add some greenery. So I'm going to start out with a little bit of leather leaf. And leather leaf is just a type of fern. So I'm going to take it. It comes in that little plastic bag, and then it has a band on it. I just took my floral knife and cut that band. And I'm going to take my leather. Now this will be a one-sided arrangement, so that means all of the flowers are going to face this side of the arrangement. I'm taking my floral knife, and I am going to cut the stems of that leather leaf and tuck it right into that floral foam. I like to make sure that the back side is covered also with the leather. So you're just going to add that greenery to cover up all of that floral foam. And I've just kind of filled the inside of the basket with the leather. Next we're going to come in with, I've got some myrtle. So myrtle is a upright growing foliage. Just a really pretty, it gives us some height. So I'm going to take my myrtle, and I'm just going to break that stem. I'm coming behind the handle and tucking that in. I love the way myrtle smells. If you break it or crush the foliage, the greenery, the leaves on it, it has a really pretty smell. And it's a really nice greenery. I mean, it really to me adds to the basket. Okay, so there is our myrtle. Next I'm going to come in with some silver dollar eucalyptus. Now, if you've watched me design any, you know that eucalyptus, I am a huge fan of different varieties of eucalyptus. It's just so pretty. Just so pretty. I'm just tucking, and you can see I'm just taking the eucalyptus and I'm breaking it into smaller pieces and just kind of tucking it throughout this arrangement. Okay, next we're going to come in with our line flower. So the line flower I chose for this basket includes pretty green bells of Ireland. So I'm going to take those bells. I'm going to pinch the greenery out of the top. So I don't love the leaves that are on the tip of the bell, so I just pinch those out. Now if you like the greens, leave them. It's not hurting anything to leave them. I just don't prefer the leaves, so I just pinch them out. So I'm going to start out with one kind of in the center, and then I am going to stair step my bells down. So I have my first one, and then I'm stair stepping one to the left, and then I'll go one to the right. So there's our bells of Ireland. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Next we're going to come in with our blue Delphinium. Love this beautiful royal blue. Such a pretty Pretty addition. Love the color. So we are just going to fill in with some more line. The blue Delphinium, I'm going to tuck one kind of stair-stepped from that center. I think I'm going to pull one back in the back and have it taller. So I'm going to cut just a little bit off that stem. Okay, there's our blue Delphinium. I kind of went all the way through with the blue Delphinium. Next, we are going to come in with some green hydrangeas. I'm going to grab some thick dip. All right, so we're going to come in with some mini green hydrangeas. I'm going to remove a lot of the leaves on it. I'm going to take that stem, cut it at an angle, and I'm dipping it in a quick dip. Now, quick dip is a hydrating solution that just helps to keep the flowers hydrated longer. And I'm going to take it, I cut that stem, dipped it in the quick dip for about 7 seconds or so. If you do not have quick dip, you can absolutely use alum. Alum is a powder that you can pick up at your local supermarket. And it's going to be over in the pickling section. It's just a powder. So if I were using alum, I would dip my stem in water to get it wet and then dip it in the powder. And that's just going to help it stick to the stem. So I'm going to tuck these 3 green hydrangeas kind of right here in the center of my arrangement. So there's our green hydrangeas kind of diagonal in the center of our arrangement. Next, we're going to come in with some white daisies. So the little lady who passed away loved zinnias and she loved daisies. So we have some bright colored zinnias, and I did not want to compete with the color of the zinnias. So I thought we would come in with some really pretty white daisies. I just thought that they would be a pretty addition to this arrangement. So this arrangement makes me think of summer with all these really pretty colors. And to me, white daisies are so pretty. They're really a really pretty addition, really, to any arrangement. They soften the arrangement and make it look a lot like summertime. Which it feels like summertime in Mississippi right now. It does not feel like late October. We are in 80 degrees here in Mississippi right now. Okay, so there are our pretty white daisies kind of sprinkled throughout. Next, we're going to come in with some yellow Solidago aster, which is just a pretty yellow filler flower. So I'm just taking each of those, cutting those stems at an angle, just like every other flower that I have placed. And I am just going all the way through this arrangement with our Solidago. All right, so there's our Solidago. Next, we're going to come in with some little yellow spray roses, some beautiful, and these are actually called Yellow Babe spray roses, like our Orange Babe are. So I am just like all the other flowers, we're just going to take those and work those all the way throughout this arrangement. Again, we want this arrangement to look as if we have gone out and gathered a summer bouquet. So I'm not doing any specific style necessarily. We're just using each color and going all the way through our arrangement. Okay, next we're going to come in with some orange roses. So these are just a beautiful, I'm not even sure the variety, just a really pretty orange colored rose. It's a standard rose. I am going to grab some wire real quick and we will wire these. Give me just a second. All right, so I'm going to take that rose. This is the calyx, that little swollen part. I'm going to take my wire, and I'm only using about 1/4 of a wire. I pushed it into that calyx, and then I'm going to wrap it right around that stem. Now this arrangement is made in floral foam, which means it's not going to have a huge water source. So it's not like fresh water, like if I had arranged it in a vase. Now flowers are so much happier arranged in a vase of water. And it's strictly because they have no hindrance of drinking the water when it's just pretty clear water in a vase. Now, the hard part in fresh floral foam is the reservoir doesn't always hold tons of water, and because they were inserted into that foam sometimes hinders their ability to drink the water. So that's why but even if they were in just water, I like to wire my stems, but especially if they're in floral foam, I want to wire the stems because it guarantees that these little heavy heads are going to stay upright. Now these are shorter stemmed roses. These are 40 centimeters. Now often I don't purchase 40 centimeters. I prefer 60 centimeters. But I wanted this color this week, so I opted for 40 centimeters. All right, there's our pretty orange roses. Next, we're going to come in with zinnias. So these zinnias came from a local grower here in Starkville. Her name is Mary, and she's with Petal Row. And Mary brings us lots of her leftover blooms after her selling season. So her season usually goes until early October, and then she stops doing her subscription plan. And so whatever she has left, she brings and lets us use. And so what a blessing it was that Mary had zinnias, because zinnias happened to be this sweet little lady's favorite, one of her favorite flowers. So it's going to work out perfectly for us to overflow this little garden basket with beautiful fresh zinnias. So I'm just taking the zinnias, and they're such nice long stems, and just like all of the other blooms, we're just taking those and tucking those throughout the arrangement. Now you can see there are lots of pretty colors. The one thing about a zinnia garden is you're just going to be overflowed with beautiful color. And so that was one thing I wanted to make sure that I complemented the different colored zinnias in this arrangement. Now you have to be a little careful with zinnias because their little stems are not real tough. They're kind of tiny little stems, and so you need to be careful with the stems when inserting them into the floral foam. But look at how pretty this garden. It's just a garden of beautiful blooms. In loving memory of a sweet lady. Now this little lady was 102 years old, and so what a beautiful way to celebrate her life. Guys, thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions about how we do things here at Flowers by the Bunch, you can absolutely ask. We are so happy to answer your question. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to our channel. If you have not already done that, hit that little button down below, and there's a bell next to it that will give you notifications for when we have a new video. Guys, thanks so much. Have a great day.